2, 1.
So
Hey,
you just
Ruben.
right.
Yeah.
You just said 3, 2, 1. How it's done? Like speaking from somebody who with a career in television,
Oh.
it's 5,
Oh.
4. Then it's yeah.
I've seen that in TV shows and stuff, so I should have known better. I really should have known better.
You should like don't. It's a rookie mistake. It's a rookie mistake.
And rookie, I am. Rookie, I am. 1 second there. I just want to make sure we've got this. Okay. So, Ruben, how you doing?
Awesome.
Let's call this part 1. Okay. So, yeah, here we go. We're still talking. This is still Going the Distance podcast.
Yep.
We're going to go into the scene. We're talking now. Rocky and Adrian are downstairs in the basement. They're having a heart-to-heart about Rocky wants to go back to fighting because, look, let's be honest, it's money. He knows a rematch. He knows enough about sports and sports fighting that he knows a rematch with Apollo, probably an easy $1 million for his family. I would step in the ring and risk brain damage to get $1 million for my family.
It's kind of like Flo Rida. Accepting $1 million paycheck for doing Trump's inaugural.
Yeah, that's become quite a. Is it wrong to almost feel embarrassed for him? Like I don't know why I feel awkward for Trump. I know I shouldn't take upon that empathetic role, but he has said such cruel and misogynistic and mean things. I should want him to be embarrassed. I should want him to be, and I don't know if he's capable of being embarrassed. So
no, he is. He is embarrassed. I'll tell you. Here's a good indication of that he gets embarrassed. If you were to read in Marla Maples' biography of how Trump raped her, see what happened was they hadn't been intimate for over a year and a half, and Marla gave him a suggestion of who to put his plugs in, and his plugs didn't take. And so he was very upset. So he went in the room and he tore out her hair. He pinned her down and tore out her hair from her skull in the same spot where his plugs didn't take before raping her. So that tells me that he probably does feel self-conscious because he got plugs and they didn't turn out very well. And he took it out by physically abusing, assaulting his wife. So I'm guessing he does feel those things.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
So don't insult Trump's hair. Yeah, I did read that account, and we have to say for the record, I'm using my Trump.
Yeah.
For the record, those accusations are unsubstantiated. They were settled out of court.
The only thing that was settled was the rape. He changed it to violation. Nothing was changed about the pulling of the hair.
I know you and I read the same book, and it's a very hard book. We should actually say the book was called. It's a very recent book, but it came out just before he was made president of the United States. Trump Unveiled.
Yeah.
It's actually an excellent read, and what Ruben's speaking to, he's actually just referring to the incident in that book. And when I read that too, of course, it's very
gross.
Yeah. So that being said,
I'm guessing he does. So we got to that by the $1 million perhaps paycheck that Rocky would get, and that would bring his family out of the financial ruins they're in. And sometimes people take a paycheck, even if they don't want to, like Flo Rida in an operation.
Well, Rocky would have taken he knows what he's going to get when he goes back into that fight. Like, he was brutalized in the first fight. And it wouldn't be any better given how pissed off Apollo was. And he's still willing to go back into that. I think when he wanted to retire initially, he kind of felt like, he did what he needed to do. He wanted to go the distance. He didn't want to be another bum from the neighborhood. But he was, I think in his mind at least, going right back to where he was before and was willing to do basically anything to get out of that. And that includes taking that beating and possibly going blind and being physically injured for life.
And I think what makes that scene relatable is that most people with families know that experience where it's like, I'm going to take this gig somewhere, I'm going to go on the road, or I'm going to take this job, or I'm going to apply for another part of the company that might suck. And you do it. And you do it because you want to help with your family. You step up to the plate and you get it done. Yeah, so I appreciate the scene.
Well, yeah, Rocky's a provider. He's a man. He wants to take care of his family. His wife is pregnant, if we remember, of course. She's wearing the shirt that says baby, pointing down to her tummy. And, Adrian, of course, says the doctor says you can go blind. So she's trying to help him make his decision not to fight. She doesn't want to say, I don't want you to fight. She's using very good communication techniques by saying, why the doctor said you're gonna, you could go blind, you get your head hurt, and then Rocky says, "Oh, I see like a beagle," and then of course she goes, she continues with that discussion. And he says, "Well, I think I should, or I say that I do," because she says the doctor
say you shouldn't.
That's right, and then he says, "Well, I say I do, or I should." I found this actually kind of interesting, and in that ultimately, it should be his decision. It's his body, meaning the doctor can make the recommendation. For example, the doctor can make a recommendation to take a medication to fix X, Y, Z. But if you don't want to take that medication, you don't have to take that medication. So in a way, his medication or his prescription is don't step in the ring. It's going to hurt your head. And he's saying, well, I'll take that risk to help my family. But of course, Adrian's like, I don't want to lose you, my husband. So there's got this triangle of stuff going on.
Well, Adrian loves and respects Rocky unconditionally, and she had that feeling for him before his first fight with Apollo. So, like, Rocky has nothing to prove to her, really. So all she cares about is just that he's safe and that he isn't going blind. But I think in his mind, it's just like, well, fine, I'll go blind. It's better than this. It's better than working in like a meat house or something. I think he said something like that. Like, I'm not meant to work in no meat house. Like, I'm a fighter. This is what I do. I finally found something I'm good at, something people respect me at. And then I have one fight and it's over. And I think prior to the first fight, it would have been like, okay, well, all I want to do is do this one fight and go the distance. But then you go to the distance and then like you start thinking, well, what else could I do? Like, I accomplished this thing that I couldn't have done before. And, like, I know I'm somebody in the boxing world now. And it'd be hard not to pursue that.
Yeah, I think with Stallone, because Stallone wrote this, like, I'm guessing there's, like, the art imitating life of him writing a sequel. Well, why wouldn't I write a sequel? Why wouldn't I do this again? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's revisit the well.
Yeah, well, sequels weren't very huge back 40 years ago. And so it's kind of a stepping outside of what was popular, I guess you could say. Sequels dominate now.
Yeah, they're not only that, they were viewed almost poorly to have a sequel. It's almost frowned upon. Now they make movies in the hopes that they'll have a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something unpopular.
Too many jokes went through my head, but go ahead.
I know. I was trying not to interrupt.
Go Trump! No, just kidding. Just kidding. I think probably the sequels cheapened the first one a little bit. I hate to say that because I really enjoy the Rocky sequels, but I think if the sequels never happened, having that element of mystery, what would have happened in Rocky's life, and this guy went the distance, he got Adrian, and you kind of wonder what happens there. I think one would have been just a little bit better if this sequel had never happened. But.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get much argument there in the sense of like, I know what you mean by the cheapening or like, I think the argument that most people would have for that though I agree with you. So maybe some alternate, if you believe in the multiverse, there's probably a multiverse version of this life where there was only one Rocky movie. That being said, what the sequels do for me personally is it makes me revisit that first one a lot as well. And because the sequels keep the movie in our heads and us talking about it now, I wonder how big Rocky would have been as a movie if Stallone decided, I'm not going to do any more Rocky movies. I don't care how much I fail as an actor or never get another acting gig again. I'm just never going to do it again. I don't think we'd be talking today if it wasn't for the sequels.
Yeah, I agree. I think I know what you mean, Kyle, with the sequels cheapening it. I think it cheapened it with public goodwill, those that aren't fans, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. It's like a band that's still going, but their best stuff was like 30 years ago. And you listen to the music and you're like, well, who cares what Def Leppard's doing right now? I just want them to play their hits. Does that make sense?
Def Leppard just announced a North American tour.
I think that's why it came up with Poison and Tesla.
And I actually wanted to go to the Vancouver show. Side note,
no Poison.
No Poison or Tesla. I'm like, I guess.
You know any Tesla songs?
What's that one? Love hurts.
Oh, that's Tesla.
Yeah.
They should make a Tesla car commercial with that song.
I don't get it. I'm just kidding.
Think about it, brother. Think about it.
Kyle, he's waiting. All right.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Am
I off topic? My off topic is
I think you're gonna have to edit this thing a little bit at least.
Never.
Ouch. Anyways, yeah, back to the cheapening. It cheapens it, but simultaneously it makes the movie go the distance.
Just so you know, Kyle's very focused on the Rocky films. When we did our episode together that didn't pan out, and I apologize for that, Kyle, the recording that didn't pan out, it was like just Rocky talk. It was like we went those rounds. There was no bell. There was just no bell. And Ruben and I have the tendency to tangent. So we actually have fans, believe it or not, who like we have fans who like the tangents. And and then we have fans who don't like the tangents. So I don't know who to please sometimes. I don't know.
You can't please everyone.
You cannot please everyone. And my whole life is a tangent.
That's true.
That's just who I am. I don't. If I'm there, if I'm wherever there is for a reason, I have to talk about something different than why I'm there.
All right. Why are we here today? Rocky. Okay. So, this was a really, of course, we'll just type the scene in the basement. Adrian suggests that she works at the pet shop again, which is like kind of, it gets that weird pathetic, like she's like 7 months pregnant. She's like, I can get my job at the pet shop again. I'm sure they can give me some shifts. I love how this job at the pet shop is like just busy. They can hire on as extra help, like filling up the turtle food and the dog dishes, and this pet shop is the size of a walk-in closet. It's like the smallest pet shop in the world. It has birds, and what else does it have in part 2? I don't think we even see anything in part 2 other than
it's got cats in the basement. We know that.
That's right. Well, the first one had cats in the basement. Maybe they all got adopted.
Those cats are anywhere? I don't think so. I think Rocky doesn't want her to go back to the pet shop because she has to take like a minimum wage job because he can't box anymore, so it makes him feel helpless. And B, Adrian wasn't treated very well at the pet shop.
Well, by Gloria?
Yeah, okay, if you go back to the first film,
Gloria was at their wedding. So whatever issues they had, they worked it out.
Well, I know, but it's like, I remember, when Rocky stole the turtle food?
Yeah, crime don't pay.
Yeah, he did that because I think he was pissed off at Gloria because she was like, Adrian, go down and clean all the cat cages. They're a real mess. So it's not like Gloria's like a horrible person or anything, but it's a sucky job. Adrian,
It's actually Gloria's pet shop. That's the name of the pet shop. There's no way Gloria's cleaning out the litter boxes. That's going to be the help.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, so Rocky asks Adrian, I love this. I love the 70s. He goes, "Hey, Adrian, you mind, making supper? I'm feeling a little bit hungry here." And she goes, "Okay." He goes, "I'm just going to stay down here and train a little bit longer." So she goes up to make supper. But this scene, though, when he's punching the bag, do you remember? He's like, punch, punch, punch. And then he starts to really lay in to the punching.
Yeah.
And I I know this is speaking to Stallone and people who do the DVD like extras. I think it was Rocky Balboa. But somebody who was a boxing, like that was their gig. They were a boxing trainer, right? They said that Stallone, had he chosen to be a boxer instead of an actor, if he had taken the same drive and ambition into the boxing world in his prime of age, that he would have been a very good boxer, because apparently he did have quite a punch. Now, granted, this was people working for the film, but there's got to be some truth to that, because when you see the scene too of him just punching the bag, I know people say, "Oh, he's just punching the bag," but that was a real punching bag. And I'm telling you, if you had me hitting that punching bag, it wouldn't have the same oomph that he was hitting that thing with.
No, Ryan, you're right. You're right, because I remember watching the extra features for Rocky Balboa, I think, and what was his name? Is that Antonio Tarver?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
played Mason Dixon.
yeah.
He was saying that, like, when Rocky hits you, it feels like you're getting hit, like when you're in a real fight with like a real boxer. I think it's him that said that.
Yeah, so
Um,
he obviously had some real strength to him.
and that was Rocky when he was 50 something or 60.
Yeah, we're losing Ruben for take care of yourself, brother. No, do what you got to do. I think Ruben was going down to the basement to clean out the kitty litter boxes.
All right, let's get some stuff done here, Ryan.
Yeah, now we got rid of the extra baggage there. Come on, we got some training to do. All right,
punch it till it hoits.
All right, let's get to the next part. So actually, this next scene is actually really, really one of my favorite scenes in the Rocky franchise. We see Rocky walking his dog to Mickey's gym. And I always forget, and maybe some of the viewers forget, but Mickey lived above his gym. And so Rocky takes out of his hat Mickey's gym key. So he had his own key to Mickey's gym. Now, do you think he got that key after the fight with Apollo or before the fight with Apollo?
I would say before, because after the fight, Rocky was retired, and so Mickey giving him a key to the gym doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
True. So, I guess I should say before Mickey was a trainer or after of Rocky.
Well, after, because Mickey hated him before.
Yeah. That's what I know.
So,
it's kind of a softball.
And also, wait a minute. Also, when Rocky goes in there, Mickey says, "I don't remember giving you no key."
That's true.
Yeah,
I don't remember giving you no key. Yeah.
And now I said this in our last one, but there's kind of a real life imitation of this in Philadelphia. Joe Frazier, who I think is still alive, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. He lost most of his money for his professional boxing, and he trains local boxers in Philadelphia. And he lives, or at least before he lived above the gym where he trained, just like Mickey. So in the same city, same kind of situation. So Mickey obviously was never champ, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of a coincidence, I guess. And of course, Joe Frazier was actually made a cameo in the first movie, and he had the watermelon shirt. I don't know if you remember that shirt.
I don't remember the watermelon. I don't remember the watermelon shirt, but that's funny.
I don't know if Stallone wrote that into the script or not. But
no, I'm not laughing at. I just find it funny that there's any kind of like fruity type shirt that he's wearing. But yes, it's terrible. Yeah,
it was a green suit too. It was horrible. Anyways, so yeah, Mickey doesn't live at Mickey's. He doesn't live in the nicest place, but I think he's comfortable there. Like fighting with his life.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Like, these guys get to do their passion. Like, Mickey's nowhere rich. He might have got some little stipend from the first fight, but we know that he gets nice digs later in his life. At least he dies gracefully living in a mansion, because he lives in Rocky's mansion in part 3. But anyways, that being said, I really admire Mickey, or people like Mickey. They're living their passion daily. When he wakes up, he's not going to work. He's doing his passion. It would be like me getting paid to do this podcast. It would be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Wait. You don't get paid to do this podcast?
I know it's crazy, but I actually lose money. I'm losing money.
I'm not getting paid to do this?
Your check is coming in the mail. Trust me.
Okay, cool. I'm sure it'll come in any time now.
So so they're at the stair. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I just want to say that it's really cool that Mickey, though he lives modestly in a very small, probably 1-bedroom apartment above his gym, it's his life. He lives it. He'll die with his gym boots on, literally. Well, I guess he did. I forgot. Part 3.
Hey, spoilers. You're always against spoilers. It's funny because there's an echo to the first movie with the hat thing, right? Because before he pulls his locker combination out of his hat.
That's right. Anything that needs securing, Rocky puts in his hat.
Well, hey, if you get mugged in Philly, not that anyone would have the balls to mug Rocky, but if you were, no one's going to be like, hey, give me that hat. Show me what's in that hat.
That's funny. So they go up. So Rocky comes up the stairs. Mickey goes around the corner. And he's got a pipe or something in his hand. He smacks the side of the stairwell.
Yeah. It's startling, isn't it?
It comes out of nowhere.
Hey, who the hell's that?
And Rocky's like, oh, it's just me, Mick. And he's like, I don't remember giving you no key. So
yeah. It's Rocky. The prodigal son has returned.
And then they have a little bit of chit chat back and forth, and Mickey's asking, what's that thing from outer space you got there? Well, it's just my dog Buckus. And then Rocky asks Mickey, what do you got in the ear there? And then
it said, hear stupid things better.
Oh, this I hear stupid things better. Yeah, I love that. Like that's just I love that writing. To me, maybe I'm just stupid. But I love that subtle writing because they're making small chit chat. They're catching up. They're obviously in good terms with each other. But it's a way of two men who aren't very affectionate. It's a way of saying, "Hey, I miss you." I'm noticing things different. Look, there's your dog, and talk to me about your dog. He's being friendly about the dog instead of saying he wants to make dog soup. And then he, joking about, I hear stupid things better in here. So they're chit chatting a little bit, and then Rocky gets into the, well, he didn't come here to show me that dog. He goes, no, Mick, can I have my locker back because I'm thinking about fighting again.
Yeah, and it's funny that echoes the first film as well because Rocky got his locker taken from him by Dipper, of course. And now Rocky just asks for his locker back, and then no questions asked. Yeah, sure. Sure, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on your mind? Then he says, well, I'm thinking about fighting again. He's like, you want to go blind? And Rocky goes, nobody's going to go blind.
Every pug thinks they got one good one left in them.
Yeah, the eye's great, no problem. Now listen, every pug thinks he has one good one left.
To me, that's so real, the way he said that. Like, just the way he kind of almost laughed when he said that because he's seen that before. I think that must be true. I'm sure everyone thinks they have one. Like, everyone kind of has a sense of their own immortality or whatever.
Their mortality. Just their mortality. If you had your sense of immortality, you would never age. No,
I think sense of immortality is because it's like they think they live longer than they really do. I don't know.
Okay. No, I don't.
I'm not too good at book learning there, Ryan.
Well, if you read books, you'll get a good. If you read books good, you'll get a good office paying job.
Yeah, that's true. You get past grade 9, then it's you're okay.
Can you imagine? I just love that part of Rocky 2 where he's looking for work. I know we talked about it, but this kills me. He's looking for work in that light blue suit. All right, so.
You got a criminal record? You got nothing worth bragging about.
Nothing worth bragging about. Oh man.
So I had to inject that.
Oh, absolutely. So Mickey and Rocky are now standing face to face, talking at the top of the stairwell, and Mickey says, "Now forget it, because your fighting career is over, kid."
Yeah. It's like, he said, like, you shook the hell out of the champion of the whole wide world. You ought to be happy with that.
Yeah.
And then Rocky's like, well, maybe we can do better this time.
Which, it's interesting how Rocky, he's doing two things here in his mind because he's looking at the fight pragmatically, but we actually see this character here where he knows the money will help his family. So there's two approaches he's doing. But with Mickey, he's actually not going to Mickey with, hey, let's make a quick buck here. Because he knows that's not his style.
Yeah,
Because,
that's right. That's right.
so he knows with Adrian, he's saying, look, I want to fight again. It's how I can provide for this family. With Mickey, he's like, maybe we could do something. Maybe you could train a champion. Maybe we could be a championship team here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ryan, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that, but I think you're dead on. I think that, Mickey would not give a hot damn about
the money.
Any money amounts. What you'll be dead in a few years anyways. Then Mickey does the little test with him.
Right. Well, just before the test, Rocky, he says, he kind of pulls out, I did a favor for you last time. Can you do this favor for me? And that kind of hit
Mickey.
Mickey.
That's right. Yeah.
It kind of hit Mickey a little bit because he's like, yeah, that's true. But then the test comes. Let me show you. Let me test your lamp here.
Yeah. Should we do a visual representation of this, Ryan?
Well, I guess you can. Stand by here. So, I
see. Oh, I guess you can't see me because the green box is around you. Well, I guess the audience can't see me.
Well, it's whoever's talking. So Mickey says here, he goes, I don't know you understand. Okay, now look, I want to show you something. Test you. Now, look, you got to look right here now. At the end of my nose.
Look at his horrible-looking nose.
He goes, yeah, look at my nose now. When I bring in my finger, tell me when you see it.
Yeah, the first time he sees it way, way out there. I guess that was his left. No, his left eye was fine.
Yeah, he tests the right eye, and then he tests the left eye.
Wait, no, his
Oh, right.
His right eye would be messed up because when you fight left-handed, your left eye is back a little bit because you're cocking your left hand, and you have your right hand out.
That's right.
So his right eye would have been messed up.
That's right. He was doing this, and it was his right eye. That's right.
Yeah, so he tests the left eye first, which is the good eye.
Okay. And then it comes in again, and he's like, oh, I see it. He goes, you see nothing.
Whoa. He tests the left eye. It was good. And then he almost got it right away. Like in 2 seconds, right. He got the left eye. Then the right eye, you're saying, it seems like he's holding his finger out there forever.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of done for the movie, the obvious. Like, we see that it's much closer to his eye than the first one. But, yeah, the idea is that Rocky's like, oh, I see it. I was like, yeah, as it's like literally poking him in the eye. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you see nothing. Creed would have caved in the side of your face.
Now, forget it, kid, he says.
He's like, you got the heart, but you don't got the tools no more.
And that really stings Rocky. He gets defensive. He goes, is that right? He goes, yeah, that's right. Mickey says, well, maybe it's you who ain't got the tools no more. You know that? And he goes, yeah. And then he just slaps him.
Slaps him in the quick, might I add, especially for like an 80-year-old or however old he is.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good scene. Go back, fans, and see that scene. Mickey or Burgess Meredith slaps Stallone in the face. There's no other way to do this scene. He's got
it's a real slap.
Yeah, because it does. It's not a side. You actually, if you see me here, you see it smacks his face.
Give yourself a real slap, Ryan. Come on.
No, I'm not slapping on camera. So
I'll do it.
No, don't. You're gonna slap yourself.
Oh, it wasn't so bad.
Well, Creed would have caved your whole face in with a slap like that.
Yeah, I would have. He would. Well, Rocky actually took punches in the face on these fights, right? Like, not as bad as the movie would make you think, but.
Well, the old joke is he blocks with his face.
He indeed does, but like the actors, Sylvester Stallone in these fights, they're not all fake, right? He actually does get punched. Not as hard as it would want you to believe, but hey, Ruben.
Hey, Ruben's back.
Hello, gentlemen. I apologize. There might be a chance I need to,
Clean out the litter boxes again?
as it were. Mine is kind of catching up, or should I just listen in and pick up?
Just
Well,
let's pick up.
we're in the stairwell scene right now, and Mickey just slapped Rocky in the face. And I did a visual representation of that on camera.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a continuity error for this scene where Mickey's seen at the door threshold outside of it, but you don't see him enter, and then all of a sudden he's inside.
What?
You might be mistaken there.
Oh, am I totally mistaken?
Yeah, it's okay. He's on the top of the stairwell. He's not inside any door. That's all.
All right, I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what I get for coming in midstream.
Audience, you gotta test Ruben's claim here, and then we'll figure out a punishment for him if he's wrong.
Yeah, like Trump, you should have come in midstream.
I don't understand.
Oh, that's gold. That's just gold.
The shower me.
Yeah, don't worry. Ruben. Otherwise, we shower you with praise. You know what I mean? Like you're just a stand-up guy.
It's too bad we weren't covering Rocky IV now with the Russians because it's just such a timely. Though the Russians would probably still be a problem in a few months.
Yeah, they're going to clean up their act. We can give this some thought. Maybe we shouldn't do espionage and threat and blackmail. And
but can you be blackmailed on something that you never did before? Like for example, I haven't paid escorts to urinate at any time, especially to urinate on a bed that was occupied by a previous president and his wife.
Yeah,
I have. It's not what you think it is.
Oh, thanks, Kyle.
There's a lot of glamour in it and stuff, but when you really do it, it's just becomes routine after a while.
Well, some people, yeah, I don't want to get into it. But.
All right, we'll move on. So, so this was the part of where Mickey slaps Rocky to make the point that this is a great moment in the movie where you see the sting. You feel the sting on Rocky's face, but you also get the sting of his like pride that he got slapped by this old man. And Mickey says like, you didn't even see that coming, and Rocky couldn't deny it. He's like, you didn't say anything. He goes, imagine what the champ would have done to you if you got his punch in. And Rocky goes, I don't know, hurt me bad. And then Mickey,
no kid, you would have hurt your point it.
I love it. And don't worry, we're gonna audio drop that file because it's the way Burgess Meredith delivers that minute.
And then Rocky's like, yeah.
And then he says to Mickey, kind of like this final grasping for straws. Like Rocky is like, he needs a job. So I love how he shoots for, hey, let's get $1 million paycheck, fight the champ. Mickey basically slaps some sense into him, literally. And then Rocky's like, okay, well, I need a job. I need work. Can I just work at the gym? Can I just, work with you?
Yeah, and he's like, well, you're like royalty there, kid. You want to see him walking around carrying buckets of spit? And he's like, well, I just have to be around there.
That's rough.
Yeah. He says, I just need to be around it. And then Mickey understands. Of course, that's his whole life. Mickey's like, I understand, kid. And why don't you come in tomorrow and we'll put you to work? And then that heartbreaking Stallone does a great job here. Does a choke up voice. He's like, I don't want to mimic it, but he does. When you're trying to hold back tears, and he goes, "Thanks, Mick." And the way he says "Thanks, Mick," yeah.
That was really realistic.
It was. Well, it's good acting.
Yeah, no, he did an excellent job there. Like that seemed like he was actually going to cry. And which is big for Rocky because you only see him cry once in all the 5.
He cried.
I think he cries in 7.
Did he cry in Creed?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Well,
I cried.
Well, yeah. You're not a Rocky fan if you haven't cried in literally every one of those movies. Every one of those movies has a scene where you can cry in. I don't care who you are. But no, Creed when he has that big locker scene with Adonis Creed when he's like, my life is there in the past. He's got that choked up voice, but I'm here. And he's talking about how
He was pretty close to crying.
Yeah.
But in 3, he does a full-out bawling cry.
Yeah, I know.
Reasons we won't say right now.
Spoiler alert.
Mr.
Mr. T dies.
Paulie dies in this, okay? He dies in the third one.
Yeah. Paulie should have died. No, I'm just kidding. If Paulie died in part 3 because of alcoholism, they wouldn't have had a Rocky 5 because they wouldn't have given power of attorney to Paulie. I love how they gave power of attorney. Who did they give power of attorney to? Paulie gave it to the wrong. Oh, Paulie gave it to the wrong person or something like that.
Yeah, well, Rocky's like an accountant. I know we're jumping to 5. Had a power of attorney that Rocky needed to sign, which means that when you have a power of attorney, they can sign for you on anything.
Yeah, so basically they just signed away his everything. They lost everything. Just a crooked guy.
Yeah, like you don't give someone a power of attorney unless you really trust them. So
we'll get to
instead
that.
of saying, "Hey, Rocky signed his power of attorney," you Paulie. Okay, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. They would have been better off giving the power of attorney to the maid.
Anybody, really. Anybody. This is... You guys hear me?
Yeah, this is Ruben screen sharing. You can do this on Zoom. You can screen share.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we're seeing some tears.
This is where we're seeing the scene on our screens where Rocky's telling Mickey that they won the fight. Or no, that it's funny. Rocky doesn't lie to her. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but Rocky actually doesn't lie in the scene. He just, Mickey goes, "How was the fight?" He goes, "It was 2 rounds. It was knockout in the second." So he's not.
Yeah, Mickey knows that's crap.
Yeah,
Mickey knows Rocky got locked out.
But then Mickey's kind of playing along, so he's kind of like he wants to tell Rocky that he's going to die in peace. Yeah, it's a great scene. Anyways, okay. Well, we're about to end on this remaining time, so we'll do one more, and then this will be 2 episodes worth. So this is good. So stand by for invite, because we're going to get into the next. Just prepare your heads while we get there. The next thing we're going to talk about is Rocky working at the gym, the taunts that come his way, and Apollo Creed with his people and how they start those taunts out. So that's our next 2 things.
Does the taunts come before or after the meeting?
The meeting comes first, absolutely. The game plan.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. All right, brothers. We'll see you in 2 minutes.
Ding ding.